What's up guys, welcome back to another video. I am very excited to show you guys this exact build out on how to set up your own CRM to be able to cold call leads more efficiently, more time effectively, and more strategically as well. If you guys haven't checked out my last video, it's going to be like right up here for you guys. Feel free to check it out. That's going to be the first part of getting everything set up. So essentially just showing you guys a little quick navigation on how to work things through on Close, and obviously I'm going to be showing you guys exactly how to set everything up now. The first video was more so like how to scrape leads, import it into Close, telling you guys what Close even is. Not sponsored by the way, but without further ado, going to be showing you guys how to set this up, and enough chit-chatting from my side, and let's get straight into the video here. Let's get it. Alright, so we are in Close here, so obviously I made a separate account just for you guys. No, my name is not Kyle Garcia, and no, my business name is not DND 1R or 10R or something like that, right? This is just a quick demo. I literally made another account for this, but this is just showing you guys how to get started, right? So obviously don't really need to be worried about getting started here. This is just showing you guys exactly how to set everything up. So this is what you're gonna do, right? So inbox, what this is gonna do is essentially you're seeing all your things here, right? So it's essentially, let's say you send out emails and you got emails coming in here. All your emails are gonna be here, your calls, people who call you, it's gonna be loaded up in here, messages, tasks. I'll get to task reminders and potential contacts in a second, but obviously the people that inquire you guys by sending emails, calls, and messages are all going to come in here, right? I'll show you guys how to connect that as well, but obviously, we'll come into opportunities. So obviously you guys can see like, hey, there's demo completed, proposal sent, contract sent. So you guys can come here and you guys can come into options, or actually I'll show you guys exactly how to do this, but essentially what you want to do is, every lead that you have, you want to create like a specific task, which I'll show you guys again in a second here, and then you just kind of drag and drop them into here. So for example, let's say you completed a call with someone. You're gonna put them in demo complete, and you guys can obviously customize the opportunities here. If you guys send out a proposal like a contract, you just kind of drag and drop them in here. So it's really it, right? It's not that hard to understand. Leads, obviously you guys can kind of import leads in here. Right now there's nothing because this is just an entirely new separate account. Contacts, you guys can obviously drop them into here as well. Workflows, so this is kind of like automations. Obviously I'm not going to get into this because you guys don't really need this if you guys are just strictly cold calling. Conversations, this is where you guys can see like and track your conversations, and if you guys want to do call reviews as well, you guys can essentially do that. Activities, don't really have to worry about that. Reports is how many dials you've done, so you're kind of like tracking your metrics. If you guys are organized and actually tracking your data, which you should, even if it's just by yourself, I would definitely go on here and obviously track my metrics every single time I call, right? Smart views, I'll show you guys how to set that up as well. Integrations, you guys can connect your email, Zoom, Zapier, whatever it is, right? For example, you guys can come in here and then just connect it. Obviously, I'm not gonna do that here. It's really simple. If you guys don't know what to do, just come here, click, right? Connect your Gmail account and just pretty much go in here and just do it, right? It's really simple, not that hard to understand. Other integrations, obviously there's a lot of integrations here, but there's specific ones. For example, like if you guys want to integrate Go High Level, there's not actually Go High Level in here, so there's some limitations, but there's still a lot of integrations you can connect. Account, right? You guys can just pretty much customize your account here. Appearance, right? Memberships, right? And then obviously the organization name. Roles and permissions, if you guys want to add other people into here, you just go into new role and then put in like a role name and then blah blah blah, and just kind of give them permissions and just kind of send them an invitation to join Close, right? Right, and then that's kind of it. Custom fields, so this is where like you can create custom fields for like the opportunities tab. So I'll show you guys how to do that right now, right? So I'm gonna come into integrations, or I'm gonna come into settings actually, and then if I come into templates, or actually if I come into shared fields, there should be some right here. So status and pipeline, right? So you guys can see like the demo completed, proposal, contract, one, lost. So you guys can add here. So for example, I'll put in I'll put in two. Long-term nurture, right? We're gonna add that, and then we're gonna add in canceled appointment, right? So we're just gonna put that in. I know I spelled appointment wrong, but it doesn't matter. So you guys can essentially just customize your fields here by clicking on statuses and pipeline, and then obviously we can come into phone and voicemail. You guys can connect. So if you want, so in order for you guys to first call, you guys need to have a number, and you want to make sure that you are US compliant. So you got to click here, and then pretty much set up everything here. You got to put in your name, your business EIN, your address, and make sure that this gets approved because this needs to be approved first. It's called an A2P 10 DLC. You got to become A2P compliant before you actually send out messages, because that's a new law, new rule. So you want to make sure that you do this. So in order for you to do that, actually you got to be paying close. So I think it's like $50 a month, but it's very worth it. Very time efficient if you guys want to save more time on your hands. Voicemail drop is just kind of like setting it up so when people call you and you never get a chance to pick up, you just pretty much call it. Well, your voicemail just kind of goes straight forwarded. So if you want to say like, hey, leave a message, or call me back in like 2 hours, you can do that. Phone and voicemail, you can just come here. Personal number, group number. So group number is like your whole team. Personal number is just you. Assuming that you're just doing this to just do it personally, I would choose personal number, and then I would just kind of like add a number. For example, like 553, or I'm just putting 909, right? If I request new number, you can see that it's pretty much been requested, right? So that's where it is. I'm just gonna kind of delete this for a second here because I don't need this. So now essentially you're gonna be calling from this number, and make sure that you always call and you check up using your personal phone number, just to make sure that it doesn't come up as spam as well, right? If it does, all you gotta do is just kind of delete the number here, and it's gonna be $1.15 per month. So make sure that if you have like 20, 30 numbers just piled up, make sure to delete some as well. So that's all you do. If it's coming up as scam, just click new number, do it again, and just keep on doing it until it doesn't come up as scam, right? Once you're done with that, emails and templates, right? What you can do is just automatically auto-populate it. For example, if someone says like, hey, I want some case studies, you guys can just come here, new template, and just pretty much auto do it. So whenever you actually message someone, now that you're able to just click the templates and just send it to them manually. So I'll just kind of do it here for you guys, right? So email test, and then boom, and then subject, whatever, and then just kind of save. And then also, SMS I'm not going to do because obviously I need to be ATP compliant, and I'm not going to have time to do that because it takes about like 2 to 3 days before you are ATP compliant. So this is an email test template. Same thing goes for SMS. You guys can do it as well. And then that's pretty much it in terms of that. And obviously, if you guys want to go through plan, there's yearly, there's monthly. Make sure that you guys can also do it for $50. I personally do $50. You guys can do $19. But if you guys want to add people in, then definitely do 20, right? Or definitely do 50 if it's in case. So what we're gonna do is, like I said, we're gonna come into contacts. Right here on the left-hand side, click the plus. We're gonna come down, and then obviously I have the Google Drive right here. So what we're gonna do is just kind of import leads. Just drag and drop, boom. Right, once you drag and drop, you might be wondering what these letters mean. Well, we're gonna click into the CSV file and make sure that it is a CSV file. If it's like any other file, it's not probably gonna work. And then you see these numbers right here, HF, right? It's kind of pretty much like auto-populating, right? So for example, we don't really need this information here, right? It's just kind of showing you the link to where the business is. So we're just gonna hit skip. The only ones that I use are actually these ones right here. So it's QBF, so it's pretty much the name of the company. So we're gonna come put here, name, right? And don't press skip on that. All the other ones we just skip, like we don't need the ratings, we don't need that. We need the, obviously we wanna make sure that we have the description, right? So if you wanna do description, then we can just come into W4FSD. So just kind of come into here and just hit description. We're gonna skip this one, and obviously the last one I also use is the phone number, obviously, right? So that's USD right here, USD IK or something. So we're gonna come down, USD IK, which is right here, and then we're gonna put in the phone, right? Everything else I usually skip, so just skip, and skip. We're gonna skip here, and we're just pretty much skip down all the way here as well. And boom. Okay, there you go. So once that's done, we're just gonna continue, start importing, right? And it's loading right here, so give it a second here. I'm just gonna delete the CSV. So it's just pretty much waiting. It doesn't take too long. It takes about like 30 seconds max, a minute if it's a long file. But you see how it's already downloaded. What you're gonna do is just don't hit start new import. What you're gonna do is come here or create 106 leads created. And now this is where all their smart review is going to be, right? So this is called leads right now, and this is where all your leads are. You want to make sure that you just save this as like, I don't know, a chiropractic lead list. And then if you want to keep it private to you, you can. If you want to share it to your entire group, you can as well. I'm just keep it private for now. And now you are able to see your smart reviews right here. And you guys can create as many smart reviews as you want, right? So once you are done with that, I'm gonna show you guys exactly how to do the opportunities and actually how to do the tasks. So what you're gonna do is, let's just click this, right? Let's say you booked them on, you call them like, hey, hey, Greater Good Chiropractic, blah, 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 XYZ, I got you booked on for next day, Wednesday, blah, 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 right? So what you're gonna do is come into opportunities. You guys can either choose demo booked, proposal sent, blah, blah. Obviously it's gonna be demo booked in this case. You guys can enter the amount of like your offer. So I'm gonna just put in, 5K, right? Confidence level, how confident are you in them showing, right? 70%, 5%. Close date next Wednesday, so that's 12. Assign to your name, contact, put their contact, and when you're done with that, you guys can add any notes, and then boom, save. Once that is done, come into opportunities. Now there it is, right? Demo completed. Let's say that you sent the proposal, drag and drop, and now you guys can see the annualized value and how much you guys have, actually saved, right? Or you could have converted. So we're gonna come back in here, and now let's say that someone wants you to call them back, right? Instead of putting the opportunities, now what you're gonna do is come into task, put this as like a follow-up. If you guys want this high as priority, you guys can do that as well. If not, you leave it, and then just pretty much go here and then let them know like when to call you back. So let's say they told me to call them back on the 9th. Boom. Once that is done, we're gonna come into inbox, come into tasks, right? We're just gonna refresh this here real quick, and I guess it's not showing. Let me see what's wrong with that. So boom, we're gonna come into Chiropractic Healing Center. Boom, add contact, save, and then come back to inbox. Now you guys can see that there's tasks here, right? So now you guys can always come here. So if you guys want to start your day off cold calling, you could just come into tasks first and then come here and click and then just call them back, saying like, hey, I gave you guys a call yesterday, you told me to give a call back, XYZ, XYZ, and just kind of go from there, right? Once you're done with the task, just mark it. Once you're done with that, we'll come back to the inbox, and boom, task is done, right? So that's really simple. Obviously, you guys can also connect your calendar as well, in Zoom as well. So if you guys come in settings, like I said, we're gonna come into integrations, connect your Zoom right there, Calendly as well. If you got Google Calendar, you guys can connect Google Calendar as well. Really simple. It's very simple. There's nothing too hard to understand. So that's pretty much it in terms of setting it up close. And pretty much just navigating through the whole thing. I mean, you guys can get better as you guys play around with it, but that's essentially like the basics of how to pretty much go through everything. And like I said, you guys can essentially just click here, call people, right? If they don't pick up, just press J, like on your keyboard. Press J, call again. If they don't pick up, J again, and then you guys can also send SMS as well. But you guys need a phone number, and you guys gotta be A2P compliant to do this. So that's the only thing. You guys need it. You guys can also click here, add their email. So talk to money, right? I'm gonna just use my old email at gmail.com. Please don't email me, spam email me, please. But that's just pretty much it, right? So you guys can now send emails, and this is how they use template as well, right? So come here, choose template, email test, and boom, it's already populated the whole thing, right? You guys don't have to like manually type in everything. If you guys want to make it personalized, you can, but it's really simple, right? So that is essentially it. Alright, so that is going to be the end of the video. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. If you guys have any questions, feel free to reach out. If not, at least leave a like and subscribe. But yeah, without further ado, if you guys want to see more videos just like this, leave it down in the comments below. And without further ado, I'll see you guys on the next video. Peace.